News from the street, 919fm.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. I am Vanessa Thomas with the 12 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM, and online Facebook and YouTube, sponsored by the Sea Champion. In the headlines, the health minister predicts the 2 field hospitals donated by the United States will be filled to capacity if and when the Delta variant is detected in TNT. Police Commissioner Gary Griffith says it is the right of people to protest, but it must be done within approval and within the confines of the law. Employees of the Tobago branch of the Port Authority are claiming discrimination and unfair treatment, and internationally the 6th Atlantic storm hints at above-average hurricane season. And now the news in detail. Health Minister Terence Dayal Singh is predicting that the 2 field hospitals donated by the United States will be filled to capacity if and when the Delta variant is detected in TNT. The minister was speaking during a tour of one of the facilities at the Gene Pair complex. He expressed gratitude to the U.S. for the donations and said it came at a critical time when the country is experiencing an increased trend of COVID-19 infections.
With the arrival or with the discovery of the Delta variant, these facilities will get filled. But there is so much physical capacity you can build. At the end of the day, we could establish 10 of these in terms of beds. But where are you getting the doctors, the nurses?
Meanwhile, Commander of the U.S. Southern Command, Admiral Craig Farrell, says the U.S. is committed to strengthening relations with TNT and stated that the donation of the 2 field hospitals is an investment.
As we walked through and heard the stories of lives saved and the difference that this hospital has made, it strikes me it's not a donation, but it's an investment. It's an investment in our shared security, because health security is national security.
The 2 field hospitals located at the Gene Pair complex and the Couva multi-training facility added 80 more beds to TNT's capacity to help deal with COVID-19. In other news, Police Commissioner Gary Griffith says it is the right of people to protest, but they must protest within the confines of the law and with the necessary approval from the Office of the Commissioner of Police. Griffith says it has come to his attention in the public domain that the Office of the Commissioner of Police is not approving applications for protests. He said that is furthest from the truth. Commissioner Griffith says the public must realize that we are not living in ordinary times as we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. He stated that there are public health regulations in place to battle the virus, and because of that, life is not the same. Griffith says people who wish to protest must be guided by the regulations, which state quite clear that no more than 5 people will be allowed to carry out this action. The police commissioner noted that an application was approved for a march from Mova to Port of Spain 2 weeks ago, and the people were kept within the confines of the law. He says he has taken note of the protests taking place in several Caribbean countries, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where the Prime Minister was injured with a stone. In more news, employees of the Tobago branch of the Port Authority are claiming discrimination and unfair treatment. President of the Seamen and Waterfront Workers Trade Union, Michael Anisette, said on Tuesday that the union stands behind the workers. Anisette alleged that the position within the authority was awarded under questionable circumstances. Anisette explains.
Is that there was a young lady who from Trinidad was sent to Tobago as an accountant. Okay? And that young lady was given managerial oversight in Tobago and given a lot of job descriptions where that person doesn't have the qualifications for, thereby denying Tobagonians that particular right for that particular job.
The port's employees are questioning if the accountant's position was approved by the port's CEO. The accountant has since gone on maternity leave, and according to Mr. Anisat, further unethical actions have been taken by the Port Authority in the recruitment process for the acting position. Mr. Anisat claims that another person from Trinidad is being looked at for the post.
Person, right, doesn't have the qualifications for the particular job because the person is a third engineer, a substantive post, and this is port operations, 1. 2, that person's salary is higher than that of the person that he's acting for.
Internationally, the 6th Atlantic storm of 2021 has been named. The U.S. National Hurricane Center says Tropical Storm Fred is on a low-pressure system and it is barreling through the Caribbean. In the coming days, it could bring strong winds, heavy rain, and high seas to the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Tropical Storm Fred will track west through the Leeward Islands before passing over many of the Caribbean's largest islands. It is likely to remain a tropical storm as it moves towards the Bahamas and Florida later in the week. The 6th named storm of the year usually forms at the end of August. And that was the 12 o'clock news on the streets, 919 FM, and online Facebook and YouTube, sponsored by the Sea Champion. Recapping the headlines, the health minister predicts the 2 field hospitals donated by the United States will be filled to capacity if and when the Delta variant is detected in TNT. Police Commissioner Gary Griffith says it is the right of people to protest, but it must be done with approval and within the confines of the law. Employees of the Tobago branch of the Port Authority are claiming discrimination and unfair treatment, and internationally the 6th named storm hints at above-average hurricane season. Do enjoy your afternoon and continue to be safe. I am Vanessa Thomas.